Hello, my name is Lauren and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi and welcome. I am currently still pretty new to YouTube. I've only posted a couple videos and I do homestead and home decor and a little bit of bookish things. And today we're going to talk about 10 books that got me out of a reading slum. I just been kind of on a roll of like picking books lately that I'm just not that into. I've been trying to like get out of like my realm of what I normally read, and doing that, it's just been, I can't find anything that I really like. And this is the shelf that I've already read, and I'm going to share 10 books with you guys that got me back into starting my TBR cart. I have a bunch of randomness on my TBR cart, and I plan on reading at least 30 books this year. I mean, that's probably about as far as I'm going to get, but I need to stop. Like, this is my TBR card. Actually, I don't even have a bookshelf to put the ones that I don't plan on reading this year. So this is kind of what it looks like. It's a mess, but we're going to, hi Stella, hi. We're going to tear into this today. So first off, I want to share a book with you that was one of my favorites out of this whole collection. And this is The Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. You guys, this book really had me like, I couldn't put it down. I read it in 3 days, no joke. So long story short, it's about this girl and she's dating a guy and he's kind of like, he's not really that good. He's kind of a piece of crap. And she ends up going to like this movie theater and running into this other guy, much older. She described him really handsome. And come to find out, spoiler alert, that is her boyfriend's father. And she ends up having to move in with them. I won't go into any more detail, but you know, she ends up like really liking the father, and the boyfriend's just kind of like treating her bad, this and that. So it just kind of gets into this thing, you know, they kind of have a thing going on and they kind of hide it from the boyfriend, but then the boyfriend finds another girl, and he kind of eventually finds out later on, but it's really twisted, and I think it's an excellent read, especially if you like things like that. So that's read number 1. Read number 2 is Beach Read by Emily Henry. I've kind of ragged on her books before. I didn't really care for the books that I read by her, but this one was probably my favorite, and it's about this author. And she's kind of like, she wants to stay at her dad's place in the country, or no, it's like near the beach somewhere, but it's kind of like in the country, like seaside country beach setting, if I recall this correctly. And she meets this guy that's her next door neighbor, and he's an author too. But the house that she's staying in is actually a beach house that her dad bought for his mistress. So I'm going to let that there for your imagination. I don't want to get too much into detail. If you have not read these books yet, I have a dog going around biting my ankles and aggravating. So if you're wondering why I'm walking around, that would be why. Because she kind of tends to aggravate if I stand in one spot. And she aggravates her sister. So that's read number 2. That got me out of the slum. Then we're going to move on to this here. Read number 3 is Obsidian by Jennifer Ammentrout. Ammentrout, am I saying that right? Some of these authors, they have some weird names. But this is an excellent book. It has the sprayed edges. And I really enjoyed this because it was kind of like out of my comfort zone. I usually don't read like sci-fi type love stories, but this one was a really good one. And this was about this girl, she moves in next door to this guy, and he's kind of mean to her, kind of comes off standoffish, but she becomes really good friends with his sister. And they come to find out they're from a different dimension, and he ends up like having to save her life a few times, and it like puts this beam of light on her, and it draws these other aliens, and they want to like kill her and the alien guy and his family. But I'm not going to go any more detail about that because I will give away a lot of the good stuff because I'm just terrible at spoiling books. So we're going to let that go. I think I'm on number 4. I think I'm on number 4. This is Britney Spears, The Woman in Me. This was an excellent read as well. She went through a lot in her life, you know, especially with like her family, her father trying to control her life and trying to take her kids away. It was just really sad. And, you know, when you hear somebody singing and performing, it makes you, you're just not aware of what somebody goes through, you know, at home. And it's such a shame. So that was a great read. Read number 5 is Verity. Oh my goodness, I hope they make this into a movie because I couldn't put this down either. This was like 4 days and I was done. This woman, she is disabled. I don't really want to go into detail of this one because I will definitely give it away if I go into detail. But this author has to stay, or no, was it an author? I read so many books this year, it's ridiculous. This lady has to go stay at this guy's house to finish a story, like a book series that his wife could not finish. The Verity is a author, and she was in this accident and she's brain dead, so to speak, and she can't finish her books. So he hires this lady to come in and pre-read everything and finish all these books. In the meantime, Verity is staying in this house and with her husband and everything, and this other lady's living there reading through her books and trying to get into Verity's life to finish these books. And there's a lot of jealousy that goes on in this, and I'm going to let that there for your imagination because I don't want to go into detail with that either. Stella. And then moving on, then it's number 6, Snowed In for Christmas by Jacqueline Snow. This was a good one as well. It was about a coach and what was the other lady? Was she a teacher? She was a college like sorority teacher of some sort. And she has a power outage. All the college kids, they're home for Christmas, and she's there on campus, and the power goes out and they get this nasty storm, and she has to stay with somebody that she went out with years ago, and it didn't go so well, and he never contacted her after the date, so she ends up staying with him, and it's kind of awkward, but they end up like falling in love, and you probably know the rest after that. Stella. I'm so sorry about that. I need to start pinning them up whenever I do videos. And then I think I'm going to be moving on to number 7 here. It Ends With Us. I watched the movie and then read the book. It is just wonderful. I think that you have to read It Ends With Us before you read It Starts With Us. If I recall correctly. I hope I don't got those mixed up, but pretty much it's about this girl and she kind of falls in love with this guy that's homeless. Stella. And people kind of make fun of her because she's like, oh, you know, with a homeless guy, blah, blah, blah. And they end up breaking up because one of them's moving. And whenever they break up, you know, it's just, she gets with this other guy and he's mean to her. He beats her all the time. And they end up going to this like fancy restaurant, and come to find out it's the homeless guy that runs the fancy restaurant, whose name is Atlas. And, you know, he sees her for the first time in I don't know how many years. So this is definitely a really good read. I don't want to give too much away. And then moving on, Pumpkin Spice and Everything Nice. This is going to be, is this number 8 of my list here? This was a really, really, really good read. It was very cozy, and it's about this girl, and her and her mom, they own a coffee shop, and there's a new guy in town, and his parents want to open a chain coffee shop right next to their coffee shop. And it creates some chaos, and this is not smutty, really. It's I would let my daughter read this book. It was very clean read. Kind of reminds me of like a Scholastic read type book. That really got me out of the reading slum. And then we're going to be moving on to number 9. Let me go get number 9 here. I know that this isn't a read of like a novel or a chapter book, but this is a Plain and Dirt devotion book, and my good friend actually got this for me. And it just has, if you are a plant lover, this is an excellent book just to pick up and just read whenever you just want to read just a page or two. And I really like this book. I really think that it's relaxing. Sit down with a cup of tea and read it. You know, it also is very aesthetic looking. It's very pretty. It's just a great little read, you know. Very cute. It's very inspirational. So if you love plants and devotions, this is an excellent book. And then we're going to be moving on to the very last read that got me out of the reading slum. And this was like another book that I always like rag on. Like I said, I never really cared that much for Emily Henry books, things like that. But People We Meet on Vacation, I did really enjoy this. It wasn't my favorite, but it kind of was one of those reads that kept me hooked. Like, I didn't really care for it, but also, like, I wanted to know, like, what happened. Like, I wanted to finish it and stuff. I mean, it was wrote pretty well. I feel like if I go into detail with this, too, then I'm totally going to give it away. But, it's just, you know, it kind of reminded me of Beach Read. It was kind of, like, on the same scale as that. So, those are probably my two. If I had to pick two Emily Henry reads, it would be Beach Read and People We Meet on Vacation. However, this book here, I got this on a whim at Target. Target had a sale, and I was just going by the back, and I knew it was going to be kind of like a ornery book, so to speak, but I didn't know how bad it was actually going to be. And I do like smut to an extent, but this was like, it was just over the top. It was just way too much. I got to like chapter 3 and I was done. It was just too much for me. Like, I could not get into this book. It was just, I don't know. It was just too much. I just felt like I was reading a porno, and it was just, yeah, I guess, can I say that word on YouTube? But it was just way too much. So I'm going to be donating that. Also, this book put me in a reading slum. Hope was here. I got this book. I thought it would be a cute little read, kind of keep me, you know, it's kind of like a cozy read. And it was just, I did finish it. I think there was some extras in the back of the book that I didn't finish. You know how like they'll have like bonus content and stuff like that. And discussion guides. I didn't do that part. This book, you know, is just about this little town, and they needed a mayor, and the mayor had health issues, and there was a big stink about it. Nobody wanted to like vote for him, and they like fought for him. That was pretty much like what the whole book was about, was this guy wanting to be the mayor of this little town. And it really bored me, but I just went ahead and finished it because it wasn't really that long of a book. So I'm currently reading right now Runaway Love by Melanie Harlow, and so far I really like it. I think I'm on chapter 3. I'm not that very far into it yet. I'm just, you know, the girl, she leaves her man at the altar, and that's pretty much how far I've got. And this month my goal is to read The Lost Bookshop, The Midnight Library, and the Jimmy Buffett, A Salty Piece of Land. I love Jimmy Buffett, and I like his music, and I just thought that would be an excellent read. This is what I deal with. If she doesn't have something in her mouth, she's just not happy. But she's not a year old yet. She's still, I call her, she's in Puppy Dumbville. Puppy Dumbville. That's what we say. We're in Puppy Dumbville. And this is her sister. She's mature. She's going on 3 in August. This is Daisy May. Daisy May dog. She aggravates poor Daisy. Daisy hides from her. But, well, I hope you enjoyed this short little video. I hope that these books give you inspiration to get back into reading again. They were a few that I enjoyed. I just got into, like, the whole reading game, like, 2 years ago. So I'm really not that far into it. So if you definitely have book recommendations, please leave them in the comments, because I'm open to reading what you guys have to offer and like what you like want to request for me to read. yeah, so if you have any recommendations, leave them in the comments. Thanks for watching.